What is up, guys? In Sente here, YouTube channel dedicated to beginner and intermediate players to help them improve and get better at the game. So I've been having a lot of fun putting on my streaming videos and covering games, but I want to get back to sort of the stuff that I've been doing in the past and giving you quick lessons, 15-minute lessons on things that I didn't know until quite recently that my friends have told me about. So in the spirit of that, I want to show you how to stop your opponent from making a framework and a big moyo before he even starts. If you guys hate having the feeling of if you play white and you're playing your game and all of a sudden black's position is just crazy and you have to try to reduce this like monstrous castle thing, you don't know where to start, and then you gotta go in, you get pincered, you get run out, you get attacked, you get killed, you develop points everywhere else. This can really help because that happened to me in a game. Took it to my friends. We talked about it, and now I think I understand the subtleties of approaching in the right direction. So, if you hate having your opponent build up these large positions, this isn't a video you want to miss. So let's get started. All right, so we're gonna do probably an extremely normal position that you've seen a lot. Dual 4/4s by black. Not gonna do this on Rensei because that's a whole nother video. It's a whole other 10 videos. But let's say black approaches here, white backs off, and black does this. So possible next moves for white I have labeled as letters. 4 approaches, really, if we're doing the corner side center idea, right? A, B, C, and D. Think about which one you might want to do, which one you think is reasonable, just in your head, a few seconds, not take it too seriously. Maybe pause the video and then come back. So let's start from D, actually, because I want to do D first, because if you don't know that D is bad, now you know. This is something that probably when you get into the intermediate level, you really learn that jumping into a pincer here is a horrible idea, right? Maybe if you have no other choice, but generally what it leads to is your opponent making an absurd amount of points, and then you live like ridiculously small in here. And then black can like surround, and like that technically still isn't alive yet because black can go here. So, you know, white needs to like get more shape, and it's just a sad, sad thing. So white does not want to do this. What would white want to do? I haven't asked, but I feel like it's okay. If white plays A, black backs off, and white does sort of a Kobayashi style thing, it feels semi-balanced. It feels pretty balanced. We see almost a symmetrical position, actually. It's just white stone is low versus black's is high. And the only problem I would say with this is just that since black is one move ahead in the moyo development, he gets to start whatever plan he wants to start before you. So this similar position might be slightly better for black. Though with Komi, maybe not. So I think, in my single-digit Q opinion, this is not the worst, but it's not the best. This is worse than A. This is something that I did, which was the inspiration for this game, that you don't want to do. And this is very fundamental because it deals with what to do when your opponent is starting to develop a framework, right? We learn, and I just told you, that jumping into the frameworks is really bad, right? I think that might give people sort of a false impression. I think it gave me a false impression that okay, because jumping into the framework is bad, playing anywhere near that framework is also bad. That could also be augmented by the fact that we learn when we learn about the Chinese that, of course, we don't want to jump in, so we want to like approach it from the outside. We want to approach it carefully. We learn like moves like this are totally fine for the Chinese. People have played this. And so when black starts to build a moyo, the attitude that it gives people trying to learn how to deal with it is like a hesitant attitude, like a calm, like, it's okay, I'm just going to come in from the outside, nice and calm, don't jump in. And that mentality, I think, can swing too far in one direction and turn into passive play, which lets black develop a really good position. I'll explain how that works. Let's say that's the wrong one. So let's say white does do this, right? Trying to break black up from the farther side. Well, black can pincer. All right, white jumps in. We do the normal Joseki. And now black can do this. And like now this is getting much scarier than it was, right? Black could even approach or, you know, do something else, but like this is now augmented and strengthened on black's own side, which makes this wall scarier, it makes the corner scarier, it kind of makes everything scarier. If white decides to, and oops, that's supposed to be here. Okay. If white decides to jump out instead, what? That's weird. Hold on, I'm just gonna reset myself. Yeah. Come on, you can do this. Here we go. So if white decides to jump out instead, then we can limit it, right? We can definitely limit his moyo, but he's kind of getting a lot of territory, right? He's getting this corner. This is solid now. We're not quite sure how this wall is going to be used exactly yet. That's not bad, but like, we're just not sure how to use this yet. So there's definitely a way to limit it, but it's kind of a lousy trade-off, I think. So both those responses for white, it doesn't work out great. So what if we try C? What if we approach the moyo or approach the framework from the closer side? Well, it's amazing how much you can learn with the simple pincer or not pincer Josekis, right? So if black pincers, we do the normal thing that always happens. And so now we see black, okay, he's developing stuff, but that stuff is pretty invadable. White can play here. White can develop a moyo of his own. If black wants to approach and do something like this, now white can invade. We have really easy invasion sequences that we can learn. And then this clamp lets white connect all up because that doesn't work. So white can steal a lot of points as long as that invasion thing is still open, like pretty easily, like super easily. So even though black does make this wall, the game is a little more balanced. It's not this crazy uninvadable moyo thing, right? Additionally, there are ways to take advantage of even this wall. And if you want to let me do a video on that, I have tons of sequences saved. So if you guys want me to do that, definitely let me know. So even though it may seem scary, this is much less scary than actually what happened in my game. And then if black just decides to back off, this is still invadable. It's still reducible. Game is still pretty balanced, I think. White might even want to just take the corner, like right now. Stop misclicking. And then just limit black even more. But the idea is approaching it on this side will stop it from being this crazy huge thing that happened when we approached it on this side. And to show you how it can turn into such a crazy thing so fast, I want to just play through some of the moves of the game that happened and show you. So trying to stay calm, right? He gets pincered, or I get pincered, then he approaches. I'm like, okay, sounds good. I want to protect my corner because that's kind of getting a little pressury, but that was a slow move too. I should have immediately tried to go to work on this side somehow, some way, but I played one more slow move because I didn't want my corner to be attacked. Then he took that extension, right? Now I'm just like, shit, like, what do I do? I mean, I could invade here, which I did, right? But I didn't invade the right way. But now this is completely off limits to me. Trying to develop my own points here, but we can see that black's making way more than I am, especially since like black has a lot of ways to, reduce and develop his own points over here at the same time. I try to kind of invade in, but it doesn't work out. I'm getting cut off. Try to use Samaji, and I manage to make a ko for the corner. And I win the ko at the expense of this corner. So now this whole corner's dead. And if we look at points right now, if we just like click the score estimator, black's winning by a lot. 63. I mean, this is giving him all those points, which is true. We can't actually take any of these into account, but we can even just see that with this corner capture, with, all black has to do is just draw a line here, seal it off, maybe reduce this by a few stones. All he needs to do, and he can easily win the game, because these reductions really didn't do very much, because I let him build up too much strength in the beginning. So it can easily just devolve into this crazy moyo thing that you don't know how to reduce and you're scared of doing it because you're just not confident in it yet. So rather than go through all of that, stop it before it starts, and don't be afraid. And don't jump into the moyo. Don't pincer, but approach it from the outside. Don't approach the lone stone first. Don't approach this guy. If he's building stuff over here, approach this side. Break it up, keep the game in balance, and go on your merry way. And then, play your normal game. So I hope that helped. I hope that, some people didn't really make that connection. I didn't make that connection. I'm an SDK, and I didn't even really realize how important it was to approach the framework as opposed to approaching away from the framework. Fundamental direction of play. But now that you know, hopefully you won't get into as many of those situations, and who knows, you still might, but you might be better equipped to handle it. And I hope you learned some stuff. So have fun in your games, good luck. Don't be afraid of approaching the moyo from the outside. Limit his development and win your games. Don't forget, there is, as usual, I stream go on Thursdays. Always a fun time. Great time. So join that if you can. Videos every week. Subscribe, Twitter, all that stuff. Follow the links and you shall find them. So with that, I will leave you, and I hope this helped. Good luck in your games.